These are called non-core vaccines. They're vaccines like lepto, bordetella, which is kennel cough, flu. We give those vaccines when people request them, but I don't think they need them.
You love your dog like family, which is why every health decision matters. Vaccines can save lives, but not every dog reacts the same way to every shot. Some owners only started asking questions after noticing sudden changes in their dog's energy, appetite, or behavior. That's why understanding which vaccines are truly necessary, and when they're needed, could be one of the most important things any dog owner learns. So let's walk you through 4 vaccines you should think very carefully about before giving to your dog. Core versus non-core vaccines.
So I'm gonna hold her kind of close to my body when I give this one. So I pinch up some skin, and I give it like that. Good girl.
Before we get into the avoid list, you really need to understand one thing first, because if you get this wrong, your dog ends up over-vaccinated for life. Most vets won't sit down and explain it to you, but not all vaccines are equal, and they actually split into 2 groups. Core vaccines are the ones every dog genuinely needs: distemper, parvo, adenovirus, and rabies. These diseases kill quickly, especially in puppies, and the vaccines for them actually work really well. Get those done. End of debate. Non-core vaccines are a completely different story. They're the ones that depend on where your dog lives, who they hang out with, and what they actually do day to day. A dog who hikes through tall grass in the Northeast lives a different life from a dog who pees on a city sidewalk twice a day, and their vaccine needs should reflect that. Once you understand this split, those yearly reminder cards in the mail start looking very different. The 4 vaccines we're about to talk about all fall into the second group, and most owners get pushed into them without ever being asked the right questions about their dog's actual lifestyle. So let me walk you through them one by one, starting with the most surprising one of all, the canine coronavirus vaccine.
Pinch it with your left hand. Some people make a little triangle, so there's a soft spot in the middle. Inject.
Let me clear up the obvious thing right away. This has nothing to do with COVID-19. Different virus, different species, your dog cannot give you COVID, so don't let the name throw you. Canine coronavirus is a gut bug that causes mild diarrhea, mostly in puppies under 6 weeks old. The honest truth is that in adult dogs with healthy immune systems, it usually clears up on its own in a few days without any treatment at all. It's the kind of bug your dog's body was already designed to handle. So why is it getting injected into so many dogs? This is where it gets shady. Walk into a vet clinic, ask for puppy vaccines, and they hand you a combo shot labeled DHLPPC or DHLPP. Each letter stands for a different disease. Some combos cram 6, 7, even 9 diseases into one syringe. Hidden quietly inside is coronavirus, and most owners have absolutely no idea. The American Animal Hospital Association, which is mainstream not fringe, says straight up not to give this vaccine. Their own guidelines explain that the disease is mild, mostly affects very young puppies, and dogs barely get any real protection from the shot anyway. Yet it's still being sold, still slipped into combos, still injected. The reason is mostly inertia and product lines. So next time your vet brings out a combo shot, ask them to read every disease in it out loud. Count the letters. Then ask if you can get distemper and parvo without the coronavirus added in. Simpler combos exist, and you have every right to ask for one. The canine influenza vaccine.
Let's see here. Sometimes dogs will yelp. 1, 2, 3. Alexa is a champ.
Dog flu is a real disease, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. There was a serious outbreak in Chicago in 2015 that hit over 1,000 dogs, and a couple of years later, it spread through dog shows in Georgia and Florida. Owners get scared because the news cycles run hard with these stories, and that fear is exactly what gets pushed into a yearly shot recommendation. Here's what bothers me though. The American Veterinary Medical Association says straight up on their own website that the flu vaccine will not necessarily prevent infection. All it does is make the illness shorter and a little less severe. So your dog gets a yearly shot that doesn't actually stop them from getting sick, just makes the cough easier, for a disease that kills only about 1 to 5% of dogs, even without any treatment at all. The other thing worth understanding is that flu outbreaks tend to be local. The chance your average dog runs into the right strain at the right time and place is honestly pretty low. And every year you stack one more shot on top of all the others, you're loading up the immune system. So, when does this vaccine actually make sense? If your dog hits dog shows in different states every weekend, sure, have the conversation with your vet. For the dog who visits the groomer once a month and plays with the neighbor's lab in the backyard, you can skip it. The smarter move is picking boarding facilities that screen dogs properly, ask for vaccine records at intake, and have good ventilation. That kind of basic hygiene prevents flu way better than a shot that doesn't even prevent infection. The leptospirosis vaccine.
I'm gonna inject, I'm already in, I'm gonna pull back on my plunger to make sure I'm in, feel the vacuum, and then inject it in. And that's pretty much it.
Leptospirosis is the one that a lot of vets push the hardest, and the reason has more to do with fear cycles than science. Back in early 2017, Blue Pearl Veterinary Hospital in Paramus, New Jersey, reported 5 or 6 leptospirosis cases over the winter, and 3 dogs died. Within days, it was all over the local news. Suddenly, clinics across the state were pushing the lepto vaccine on every single dog walking in the door, even ones who never go near water or wildlife. The real problem with this vaccine is that there are over 250 different strains of leptospirobacteria out there, called serovars. The standard US vaccine covers 4 of them. Cross-protection between strains is partial at best, and even AAHA admits that on their own website. So your dog gets a yearly shot that misses the vast majority of strains they could actually run into in the wild. On top of that, smaller breeds react badly to this one. A massive study from Banfield in 2023, looking at nearly 5 million dogs, found French bulldogs had a reaction rate of 55.9 per 10,000 visits, with dachshunds, pugs, Boston Terriers, and Chihuahuas not far behind. If you have a small dog, this is a vaccine that actually puts them at higher risk than the disease in many cases. In late 2024, AAHA moved leptospirosis to core for most dogs because cases have been rising in some regions. Many integrative vets, including Dr. Gene Dodds, still treat it as risk-based, depending on lifestyle. So, when does this vaccine make sense? If your dog swims in lakes, lives near a farm, hikes through wildlife areas, or drinks from puddles full of runoff, the math starts favoring it. If your dog walks on clean sidewalks and never goes near standing water, the math doesn't. The Lyme disease vaccine.
Opening or bevel side up, right through the skin. Draw back a little bit, make sure there's no blood, and then go ahead and give your injection.
Lyme is scary, ticks are everywhere, and of course, you want to protect your dog. Stay with me on this one because the story behind this vaccine genuinely surprised me. There used to be a Lyme vaccine for humans called Lymerix, made by the company we now know as GlaxoSmithKline. The FDA approved it in December 1998, and by the next year, it was selling 1.5 million doses. Then, the lawsuits started. People reported joint pain, arthritis, and immune problems after getting the shot. Sales crashed, and in early 2002, GlaxoSmithKline pulled it off the market entirely. The case settled in 2003, and the lawyers walked away with $1 million while the alleged victims got nothing. The human version is gone, but the dog version is still being injected every single year. The really concerning part is what happens to certain breeds. The most serious form of Lyme is a kidney disease called Lyme nephritis that hits Labradors and Golden Retrievers the hardest. Researchers honestly don't know yet whether the vaccine prevents it, makes the kidneys more sensitive to it, or actually triggers it in genetically prone dogs. Combine that with the fact that Lyme is just one of about a dozen tick-borne diseases, and you realize the vaccine covers exactly one while leaving your dog wide open to Anaplasma, Ehrlichia, Babesia, and Rocky Mountain spotted fever. So when does this make sense, and what should you do instead? In high-tick regions, ask your vet about the IDEXX 4DX snap test. It uses 3 drops of blood, takes 8 minutes, and screens for heartworm, Lyme, Anaplasma, and Ehrlichia all at once. Lyme actually responds really well to antibiotics if you catch it early through testing. Pair that with proper tick prevention and daily tick checks after walks, and you're protected better than the vaccine could ever do. So if you're skipping these 4 shots, what do you do at the actual vet visit? Here's where most owners have never been told the full story. Instead of automatically boosting every year, you can do a simple blood test first, called a titer. A titer measures the antibodies already in your dog's system. If your dog already has an army of soldiers ready to fight off distemper or parvo, there's no reason to send more in. Both AAHA and the World Small Animal Veterinary Association officially recognize titer testing as a valid alternative to automatic boosting. The most common in-clinic kit is called VaxiCheck, made by a company called BioGal. It gives results in 21 minutes and tests distemper, parvo, and adenovirus all at once. What this means in practice is that after your puppy series is done, you don't need to keep blindly boosting. You test, you confirm protection is there, and you skip the shot. It saves your dog from unnecessary immune stimulation and saves you money in the long run. If a vet refuses to discuss titers with you, that's actually a sign you might want to find one who will. The minimal vaccine schedule. The simplest schedule used by many integrative vets looks something like this. Distemper and parvo at 9 to 10 weeks. Repeat at 14 to 15 weeks. Parvo only at 18 weeks. That last dose at 16 weeks or later actually matters the most because maternal antibodies from mom's milk can block earlier shots from working at all. Rabies at 20 weeks or older, given separately from other shots, ideally a thimerosal-free version. After the puppy series, the titer is, instead of boosting automatically. Space vaccines 2 to 4 weeks apart, and never pile everything into one appointment because that's when the immune system gets overwhelmed and reactions happen. Quick recap so you have the whole picture. Coronavirus, AAHA's own guidelines say don't give it. Canine flu doesn't actually prevent infection for a disease that's rarely deadly. Lepto covers only 4 of 250 strains with high reaction rates in small breeds. Lyme, the human version, got pulled off the market. And the dog version still has the highest reaction rate of any canine vaccine. The point isn't to skip all vaccines. Distemper, parvo, and rabies absolutely matter and have saved millions of dogs. The point is to vaccinate smart, ask what's in the shot, understand your dog's actual life, and use titers when they make sense. You're your dog's only advocate, and nobody else is going to do that job for you. If this helped you, drop a comment below and share with another dog owner who needs to hear it.